all this is about. It's nothing but harassment. And, when did Hunter Biden steal classified documents? When did he have terrorists attack our capital? When did he try to overturn an election or get $2 billion from the Saudis for covering up murder? I mean, come on, man. Look at our ambassador to France and tell me that you care about Hunter Biden's pardon.
Yeah. Oh, please. He pardoned 200 and something more criminals, murderers, traitors, on and on. Anyway.
Joe Arpaio, Dinesh D'Souza, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Steve Bannon, Charles Kushner. Don't tell me y'all care about crime. Don't tell me y'all care. And again, Hunter Biden is Hunter Biden, they want you to shower all over Pete Hegseth.
I, for one, was glad that Meghan McCain finally spoke out against, what did she call Hunter? A Nepo baby.
Nepo baby.
Thank God, finally. Did you know who her dad was, by the way? I had no idea.
No, who?
I forget. I hope she brings it up again. But yeah.
You said helpful tip, if you voted for a guy who openly stole money from Americans with a scam online university, you don't ever get to complain to the rest of us about respecting our laws. Now sit down and wait for billionaires to care about you.
Thank you. Yeah, they're criminals, and you guys don't care about crime, and we all know what's going on here. Look, folks, it's discouraging seeing the bad guys win. Take some comfort from the fact that they're really stupid. Just don't forget to stop and smell the train wreck, because Donald Trump didn't just suddenly become competent or honest or a good man or less racist or not a sex predator, and his flunkies did not suddenly become statesmen.
Stephanie Miller.
Don't believe me, just why? Don't believe me, just why? Don't believe me, just why?
Wow. Hello, Karen in Chicago. Hello. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
This is Baba Wawa. I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
Will you come on my podcast with my friend Anita and I?
Of course I will go on True Blue.
Hey, it's worth a shot. So I want to say that a special shout out to our Stephanie Miller official Chicago Resistance Sisters walkers. Who gathered yesterday and hiked and were a support to each other. This is the thing. People cannot isolate. Find your people. Let's join in community, because this is the way we are going to be able to fight this and survive.
Find the helpers.
What's to come.
Right? Like Mr. Rogers said.
Right.
Yeah, love.
Not Aaron Rodgers, the other one.
No, not Aaron Rodgers.
All right,
the good
yeah,
Rodgers.
no, yes.
The good one.
And he said also get vaccinated, kids.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay. 58 minutes.
These aren't just stories to us. They are movements that shape the future. And media should be an ally to those pushing for change. Support us now by calling 877-378-8669.
I'm Dave Zirin, sports editor of The Nation magazine, and you're watching Free Speech TV.
Elections are just one piece of democracy, but real change comes from sustained, year-round activism and involvement. Here are some ways you can stay engaged.
Be informed. Follow trusted news sources like FSTV and follow reliable social media accounts. Look for in-depth reporting that goes beyond headlines.
Keep up with your representatives. Don't hesitate to reach out to them about issues that matter to you. Your voice is a reminder that they work for the people.
Real change often starts locally. Volunteer with community organizations and support local initiatives that align with your values.
Support independent media. FSTV plays a crucial role in holding the powerful
And I also, by the way, of course, there will be open lines of communication between Donald Trump and whomever he puts at the head of the DOJ. Hopefully it is not Kash Patel, but whoever it is will be, to all intents and purposes, just as bad and just as dangerous to individual American citizens who, as Tim pointed out, have only been doing their job as public servants.
Thank you. Very true. Yep. Okay. Yeah, our beloved JoJo from Jurors said, so the very same Republicans who said they blocked the release of the House Ethics Report on Matt Gaetz because he's no longer an elected official are vowing to further investigate Hunter Biden, who is not now nor has ever been an elected official. Right. Do I have that right? Yes, you do. The hypocrisy is endless.
Right-wing hypocrites!
Right. Yes, Allison Gill said, I think we should let the people being considered for preemptive pardons decide for themselves and maybe don't shame them. Many of them don't have $350,000 it takes to hire defense attorneys. Most are woefully underpaid civil service, which, makes Olivia Troy and Harry Littman, a lot of people's courage all the more striking. We're going to talk to Harry next hour. George Conway said, as for the idea of President Biden issuing preemptive pardons to the Liz Cheneys and Jack Smiths of the world, we express our disagreement about that. And that's why Allison was responding to him, saying, you know what, how about not shaming people? Right. I get it that, you don't want to admit guilt when you haven't done anything, but as I keep saying, they're not going to need evidence. Listen to if I know you can't bear it, just read the transcript of the Meet the Press interview. He absolutely is going to prosecute his political enemies, and he won't need evidence or crimes. So, you know what I need now is a little love. What the world needs now is a little love, Slade.
Okay.
Nicole, longtime listener, seeing you at Sexy Liberal. I will be at the January 18th for the DC Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour. My longtime girlfriend's joining me after I finish the People's March that day. Me too. I love you so much. I'm abandoning the buses I'm organizing right now to go to the protest to stay in the nation's capital for you. It's all for you, Steffi.
All for you.
There are more of us than there are of them. I will not give Voldemort on my anticipatory obedience. Say hi to your excellent staff for me. Hello, excellent staff.
We are excellent.
Nicole would like me to say hello.
Hello,
Nicole.
Staff.
Oh, that means it's time for our big Sexy Liberal announcement that I forgot to tease last hour. We have a big Sexy Liberal announcement. Not only is the D.C. show January 18th, right after the Women's March in D.C., the final Sexy Liberal show, probably ever, just saying. It is also available pay-per-view. We are decided by popular demand, we are going to put the last one up pay-per-view, so anywhere in the country you can watch the DC Sexy Liberal show. SexyLiberal.com. Get it.
It's the start of the resistance.
There you go. Vive la resistance.
Vive. There you go.
As in Vive Clicquot.
There's no A at the end of Vive.
Vive and Vive are not the same words.
Whatever. Lucretia in Milwaukee. Hello, Lucretia.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
To all.
Yes.
And I'll say I do apologize that I am a week late and $1 short, but I just had to say something about this, about the pardoning of Hunter Biden. First of all, I find it hella hilarious that this is not only making these people on the right piss their pants, and Biden is living in their head rent-free. But the thing about this is that, he lied, but if ifs and buts and candy and nuts, we will all have a Merry Christmas. But here's the thing. People fail to understand. There's this thing called, changing your mind.
Yes, based on new information, like the fact that Donald
works.
Trump won and put in a rogues gallery of people that are on record and wrote it down that they're going to prosecute everybody, including Hunter Biden.
You're worried about Biden. Look at what the cronies he stand up there and pardon. And you're not going to sit here and tell me, he went and pardoned his sons. I'm sure if Key Bump Cokey McCokespoon was caught with drugs, they had to do a little time. He's pardoning them. To all of them,
Thank you.
I'm going to keep laughing at all of you guys while this man is living your head rent-free.
Yep.
And you guys can suck it.
Thank you, Lucretia. No one says suck it like Lucretia.
It's
the
true.
Sweaty Church Tour in Milwaukee.
very good
I tell
about
you
that.
what. By the way, I have mentioned I will be in for the Women's March and then the final Sexy Liberal DC, and then I will be out of there like through a goose.
Yep.
Sunday morning. Midas tweeted, I'd rather undergo a colonoscopy without anesthesia than watch the inauguration. Coincidentally, so would my healthcare provider. Okay. Joke about. Okay, I get all the dark humor. By the way, Don Lemon, when I texted him and I said, "Is this really you?" He said, "Yeah, here, I'll send you a selfie." And he sent me the shooter, two of the hoodie shooter shots, which was,
the CEO
everyone's doing the dark humor. I get it, but am I the only one? I'm a little uncomfortable with like celebrating.
I am too.
Like we all hate the healthcare
wrong.
system,
Right.
but
It's not right.
You know,
You gotta
we
family.
can't be like the
understand
right
it,
wing
but it's
and
not right.
promoting violence and just.
That is exactly it. I understand it, but I don't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's, just
It's
celebrating a guy getting shot on the street in cold blood.
It's just
that has,
wrong.
He has kids. It's just, it's, and I hate the healthcare system, but it's obviously not one guy's fault. And so it feels a little, I don't know, just like this sort of meaner society that we've been since Donald Trump has been in. It's just how they regularly promote violence on the right. I don't want to be like them, I just like this lookalike contest for the killer of the United Healthcare executive was held in New York City Saturday. And, trust me, I get dark humor, but it just felt like,
Well, and many people are not helping the FBI to find the guy, too.
I know. Well, that's the other thing. Is like, how do you have all these pictures of his face? And it's because the normal internet sleuths don't want to help.
They don't wanna help.
Right.
I just feel like Donald, I'm sorry, I know it's not all his fault. In general, we've gotten to be just a meaner society, and I think they promote violence so regularly and have so normalized January 6th, for instance, that I don't want to be that side where we celebrate just wanton lawlessness and murder, the New York Police Department is crowdsourcing their investigation into the murder. But after a few days with no positive ID, they may not get as much help from the internet, according to a lot of popular TikTok sleuths. Yeah, one of them said she was pretty apathetic. She said her impression of the online sleuthing community was concepts of thoughts and prayers. See, that's a joke about Donald Trump saying concepts. It's, claim denied on my prayers there. One of them said tongue-in-cheek. I know someone said my empathy is out of network. I get the
I
jokes,
get it.
but
it's just, yeah.
But, then we're just saying we're for, people getting gunned down in the street, and I'm... All right, so investigators also exploring the possibility that the pistol was used by veterinarians to put down sick or wounded animals.
Yep.
It was the weapon, which is practically silent. So that's whether, it was a gun with a silencer or this thing. But one expert said it's a 9mm round. It's meant for close-up killing. It's meant for vets to kill an animal by shooting it in the head.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I didn't know
somewhere.
they did that.
They horses, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's going to be fatal, but it would work the exact same way on humans very effectively and extraordinarily quietly. So anyway, that story is just it's tragic, and I get it. The amount of anger that's out there.
Yeah.
I don't like paying my health insurance premiums more than anybody else.
Well, it's not about that. It's about you're paying all this money and then you're
And then you
not
get
getting
denied.
services.
That's
the problem.
That's what people are pissed off about.
Yeah.
It's not the, yes, mine went up. It's going to be $1 gazillion next year. But if the Affordable Care Act is overturned, then I'm getting less services than than I'm already getting.
I know we marinate in it. It's just this bull artist. How many years? He's still literally yesterday said he still has concepts of a plan for healthcare. Are you? Okay. I'm still in the camp. I can't believe one person voted for this obvious con man grifter that didn't get anything done, he said, the last time. And he just lied nonstop. He said, we have concepts of a plan that would be better. And Kristen Welker said, still just concepts? Do you have a fully developed plan? We have the biggest healthcare companies looking at it. We have donors who are always looking, doctors who are looking because Obamacare stinks, it's lousy.
No, it's not.
Okay, first
could
of
be
all,
better,
how
but
long
it's
has he
better
been
than
saying
it
we're looking at that? We're looking at that very strongly. We have lots of people, the best people, all the best people looking very strongly. They're looking very strongly, the best people. And then he said, I'm the one that saved Obamacare. I'll say it. I did the right thing. I could have done the more political thing and killed it. Thank you. At least she got this one. Kristen Welker said, you did try to have your Justice Department effectively kill it, though. Trump said, no, kill it from a legal standpoint. From a physical standpoint, I made it work. No, you didn't. What? John McCain is the one that saved Obamacare.
Yep.
I don't understand the point of interviewing him. Oh, my God. She said, when will we see your fully developed plan? Let me guess, it's going to be 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Is it going to be 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks.
Right during the middle of infrastructure week? Yeah, okay. We're the dumbest planet in the world. Okay. He said, well, I don't know. That's when. So we didn't get 2 weeks. Just doesn't know. He said, I don't know that you'll see it at all. You just have to trust the great and powerful Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I can only say that we have some of the best healthcare people. I've always tinkered with it.
What?
He's not tinker. What?
He didn't do a damn thing to it
Obamacare
in the 4 years that he was president.
It was a disaster. Kristen Welker, it has insured over 20 million people. Yeah, because of me. No! At all because of you.
Obama.
Right.
I made it good. Kristen Welker, you tried to repeal and replace. You tried to kill it, sir. No. Oh, my God. Here we go again with both sides do it, and it's just, that's your opinion. No! Two sides. He tried to kill it. He wasn't able to because of John McCain. Mm-hmm. He didn't save it. How is the Office of, what is it called? Government Efficiency going?
The Department of Redundancy Department?
Huh?
The Department of Redundancy Department?
Didn't somebody... Marjorie Taylor Greene said, they're going to get rid of unelected bureaucrats. Guess who's unelected bureaucrats? Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy.
Exactly.
And by the way, it's not a department. It's a
thing. It's a concept.
Pastiche of notions.
Exactly.
Again, it's not a thing. It's not a
thing.
Oh, you've worked yourself up into a state.
Andy in Delaware. Hi, Andy.
Oh.
Hi.
Great. I'm surprised. Anyway, I just want to mention something that Rude Pundit talked about. You guys were talking about MSNBC. MSNBC ran anti-Harris Waltz and pro-Trump ads on every commercial break. I wonder if Fox News and Newsmax did that.
I don't know.
I'm sure they did.
The equivalent to that.
Stations are required to take political advertising.
Yeah, I mean...
They can't turn it down.
That was the least of it,
right.
Trust me.
Right. It's illegal for them to turn down political advertising.
Our friend, fine American John Pavlovich, says, this is our moment to elevate humanity, to defy the gravity. See? He's in a wicked mode, too.
Does he find it popular?
Defy the gravity of fear, pulling so many into the worst of themselves. It is our chance to resist the jittery, unremarkable fraud behind the curtain by exposing him and refusing to respect or bow or obey. Hold on, I have more. Oh, our friend Stephen Beschloss said, these are serious times. They need to be taken seriously. We need serious people. Not sand. Not sand. Just serious people.
We have serious problems
Thank
to
you.
solve,
Thank
and
you.
we need serious people to solve them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That means confronting the threats with all intensity, but can we agree that we will not lose our sense of humor, both for our own sanity and well-being, and because it is a powerful weapon? Yes, thank you, Stephen. That's how you fight back. You go to sexyliberal.com and you come see us in person, DC Sexy Liberal, for the big finale, or pay-per-view. Get it. Sexyliberal.com. 20 minutes after the hour. You know what? Johnny, I guess, they said we've got a gift for you. Hey, Free Speech TV Land, it's Monday. It's New Member Monday.
Aw, you made a song.
I did. I made a little ditty because it's New Member Monday. We're talking to you, who's never given to Free Speech TV. Now is your chance to write as we face fascism. We need all our democracy warriors here. A monthly gift as little as $5 can go a long way in keeping us all here in the new year. Call 877-378-8669 or go right to freespeech.org/donate to sign up now. Bottom of the hour, talk about Syria, Ukraine, etc. We have the authors of That Time We Ate Our Feelings, just in time for the holidays, and Harry Littman, our legal lad, coming up in hour number 3. Speaking of our legal lads, Dino Abdallah tweeted, Trump's in Paris today and looks awful. He really did.
He did.
He said, I mean, really unwell. We will never know if he's ill because his administration will keep it from us. It really appears in a matter of time Trump is going to be a Pinot, president in name only, as Musk and other oligarchs run the government.
I agree.
I mean, of all the falling down on the job the mainstream media did, that every cycle was Joe Biden's old. And, oh my God, look
He'll
at
just
Trump.
play golf the whole time like he did last time.
Yeah.
Amy Siskin tweets, Trump has botched up the nomination process pretty bad, a Republican senator said. They clearly aren't vetting these people. No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I just, okay. Anybody that's shocked, I don't know what to tell you little lambs, you little summer children. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, he says the same thing we just said Friday, accusing Pete Hegseth's attorney, Timothy Parlatore, of witness intimidation because he suggested Hegseth may sue the woman who accused him of sexual assault and received a settlement if he doesn't get confirmed. Unless you make me defense secretary? Really?
Right.
So this is where we are. I'll stop drinking if you give me the nuclear codes, and I won't sue this lady. But I'll sue her if I don't get this. I mean, okay. Johnny tweets, I spoke to a woman yesterday who voted for Trump because she felt he was going to defend the Palestinian people. She told me he lied and regrets her vote. Too late for that. Brittany tweets, the Cheeto Puff is selling, did you see this? Fragrances for men and women called Fight, 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 $199 a bottle. Because, you know, eggs and stuff.
Right.
You telling me our future dictator has a signature fragrance? It's laughable at this point. We have lost the plot. Where are the aliens? Help. And he used a picture of him sitting next to Jill Biden at Notre Dame Cathedral to sell his stupid... I think it was Adam Kinzinger that said it smells like anus and armpits.
Yeah.
Mark Elias from the United States of...
Mark Elias.
Correct. Said, Donald Trump has not yet taken office. The abuses of his administration have not yet begun. It's going to get worse, much worse. We need to stand up in opposition, not for a month or two, but for 4 years or more. To do that, we cannot allow ourselves or our leaders to be too tired. We must insist they have courage or get out of the way. Thank you, Mark. Oh my God, these whiny little bitches. Even after losing their elections confirmed by a recount, several North Carolina Republican candidates are still refusing to concede. Instead, they're challenging tens of thousands of voter registrations across the state in a desperate bid to overturn the election results. Oh my God. They're just a party of entirely whiny, sore loser little babies. I mean, it's just... What did somebody ask Trump, like, how is when they were out of power, Democrats were able to steal the election? They just forgot to do it this time?
Right.
Like, what? I'm sorry. I'm very shouty and C-wordy this morning. I apologize.
Okay.
Malcolm Nance next.
DNI, and I think her positions put her beyond the outermost fringe of American politics. When she visited Assad in Syria, he was effectively a Russian-Iranian ally. And what she said about Syria not being a direct threat to the United States, that was her justification for going, it's completely false. The Syrians and their combination with Iran and Hezbollah have posed direct threats to Americans across the region. They certainly pose a direct threat to key American allies, Israel and Jordan. And it's going to be very interesting to see what the files that may be uncovered in the Syrian government, if the rebels succeed in capturing Damascus, what they show about a number of Americans.
Oh my, really? Tulsi might pop up and say, listen, let's send some love and light to Tulsi Gabbard this morning, who was in mourning for her lover, Assad. Okay.
Mondays with Malcolm.
Thank you for this very special Monday with Malcolm. Just a little bit going on.
I'd call this an emergency Monday with Malcolm. So, any questions?
Oh, my God. I mean, Adam Kinzinger said, Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation hearing will be brutal if she even gets to one. I mean, she is on record defending Assad, right? Saying he didn't gas his own people.
Well, let's just start with the fundamentals here. Tulsi Gabbard is another one of those people who has this mental illness where they believe that they're absolute thorough incompetence and they're compromised by being, compromised by foreign powers and shimmying up to the worst dictators in the world and Vladimir Putin. It somehow qualifies her to be in charge of all U.S. intelligence. This woman was a lieutenant colonel in the Army at a time she should never, ever have had a security clearance, much less a top secret security clearance. So for her, I understand she's in mourning. Her boo is, just been kicked out of his house and now has to go join Edward Snowden in the, understairs cupboard in Moscow that Vladimir Putin has set aside for everybody that has to go on the lam. But, hey, let's take some comfort in this. Maybe she'll go too.
Yeah. Take a listen to President Biden yesterday real quick.
It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria to build a better future for their proud country. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty. As we all turn to the question of what comes next, the United States will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risks. For years, the main backers of Assad have been Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. But over the last week, their support collapsed, all three of them, because all three of them are far weaker today than they were when I took office.
I said it earlier, Malcolm. He will go down in history as having one of the most successful, presidencies ever. He's absolutely right about that. And, I'm glad that they're arming Ukraine as much as they can. It made me sick to see him with Zelensky yesterday at Notre Dame Cathedral because God knows what's your take on what all's going to happen now. But the fact is, he's right. Assad fell on his watch. Russia's weaker than they've ever been. Go ahead.
And there's three components to this this insurgency that took down the Assad regime, and 1/3 of it is the SDF. That's the Kurdish Syrian Democratic Forces, which Donald Trump attempted to gut and turn over to Russia when he was in office. You guys might remember he surrendered the U.S. bases in northern Syria that were under the control of the SDF. The allies who, by the way, defeated ISIS almost single-handedly. Trump betrayed them. It was the first major betrayal that he did. Joe Biden came back, arms supported them, and they now have control of 1/3 of Syria, plus all the ISIS-controlled areas, which, by the way, Joe Biden bombed ISIS training camps, the last ones that existed in that region, yesterday with 75 B-52 and other bomber strikes. So this is a successful operation. there's also a clandestine component to it that we don't know about. Our allies in southern Syria with the Druze worked with the Jordanians in the United States, and they were the first ones to get into the city of Damascus. So you will see what happens with the Hayat Tahrir Sham, the HTS, the Turkish-backed Islamists, to see how they're going. But they've already said that they're cooperating with all other minority groups in the country, and this may turn out to be one of the most successful operations geopolitically. It got rid of Hezbollah, with Israel, of course, killing them. But now there's no base of support. Iran's entire base of support in the Middle East disappeared 72 hours ago.
Yeah. So, as you know, Trump says he's going to solve the Ukraine war in, is it 24 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a concept of a plan, or is that?
Yes, it's
a pastiche.
It's a pastiche of notions.
I mean, so what's going to happen now? Because, obviously he's going to try to force Zelensky to give up land, to give up joining NATO. What does this peace look like, quote unquote?
Well, this is where I have to give credit to Zelensky, because Zelensky understands hardcore Russian-based geopolitics. And that's what Donald Trump thinks he's doing. Trump likes to humiliate people that he's had dealings with before. Good example, J.D. Vance, right? Lindsey Graham. He brings you to them and expects you to grovel at his feet and be humiliated. Zelensky's not going to play this game. He's got almost 1 million men under arms. He's fighting the Russians. He occupies a third of a Russian province, governorate over there. We've just seen that the reason Russian power collapsed in Syria is because their forces had virtually nothing left there.
Yeah.
They had to remove everything, bring it back. So Zelensky's going to he's going to listen to Trump, and then what's going to happen is this. Ukraine is not going to surrender any of that land that they've lost in the invasion of 2022. The country won't have it. Zelensky can't do it and expect to politically survive at any level. And another thing that we won't do is they will not accept a 20-year delay in joining NATO the minute Russia loses this war. And as, I think it was David Frum may have said this yesterday, or Ann Applebaum, things are stable until they aren't. Russia could collapse tomorrow morning, just like Syria. We don't know.
And then did Mika Brzezinski apologize for David Frum saying that?
I'm sorry, what is that?
I said, and then did Mika Brzezinski apologize for David Frum saying that? I'm just being a biatch.
You're a scamp.
You're naughty. You are a scamp. So this being said, Zelensky's not going to be humiliated by Trump. He is not going to go and genuflect on one knee.
Thank you.
And I don't know about you, but, as Trump got fat, or Zelensky, he's getting all sorts of swole now. I mean, that guy must work out twice a day to have to put up with the mountain of BS that he's expected to swallow from an incoming administration. Ukraine now has its own resources. The only question is, Donald Trump is famous for betraying our allies, just famous for it. And the question is, what's in the back of his mind about how he can screw them over? Because he'll never let the impeachment that happened because Zelensky would not go after Joe Biden. I don't think Trump will ever let that go.
Yeah, no, I know. By the way, you brought up Lindsey Graham, and we were like, man, even for Lindsey Graham, that was like in record time, him flip-flopping on Pete what's his name? Hegseth. I mean, he knows this. This guy is so. Somebody, at least was it Rubin was talking about as a lawyer himself. Graham knows he is using a faulty defense. He said to discount serious allegations against Pete Hegseth simply because the sources were granted anonymity is misguided. And of course, at least one of the anonymous people featured in reporting about Hegseth isn't anonymous to Hegseth. The Jane Doe who's accused him of rape, with whom he signed an agreement. He and his lawyer are well aware of their identity, and not to mention they put her under an NDA. And then they're like, oh, well, if she won't come forward, then, it doesn't count. You're like, how? I mean, this is the, catch-22 they think we're dumb enough to fall for, right?
The funny thing is, Lindsey Graham was the lawyer when he was in the Air Force.
Right, Advocate General, yeah.
And the first question anyone in the armed forces has to ask themselves is, do you have confidence in an officer who is already found by his peers to be a known abuser of alcohol and women. You know, you don't want anyone. There are people, granted, there have been secretaries of defense who were alcoholics, and they all went to AA, and they kept their fingers away from the trigger. But this guy isn't even qualified to command a company-level infantry unit anymore. He is a pundit on television. To put him under control of 3 million people and 4,500 atomic bombs, this man would turn the trigger if Donald Trump said nuke something. Because he is a psychopath. And he should be nowhere even near the nomination.
I know.
He's
Somebody
not
tweeted
to be in the Pentagon working at the Dunkin' Donuts.
Somebody tweeted, I'll stop drinking if you give me the nuclear codes is the most alcoholic thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's got to get his mom.
His mommy.
To come in and vouch for babykins to make sure that, you know, you understand that he's not naughty with women. What is going on here with these nominees? They're just the worst in history.
The reporting this morning, Malcolm, is Trump is shaken by recent reports about This is why zero vetting, right? I mean, the first place he didn't tell them any of this, and they didn't do any vetting to know any of this. Trump is not yet personally pushing hard for his selections, limiting his exposure if they withdraw or fail to win confirmation. And so, you know, there's reporting about how, you know, because of Trump's brother dying of alcoholism, that's like a big thing with him, the drinking. I mean, and by the way, that joke David Frum made about, you know, if you look on air, you know, to being drunk on Fox is you're very drunk indeed. Would you like to go under oath and tell me that Judge Jeanine or Larry Kudlow or Rudy Giuliani have never been blasted on Fox News? Right. That joke was funny because it's true.
Right. That man drank on television. There were scenes where he was drinking whiskey. They were all drinking, and these weren't little like sippy cup shots. Okay, these people were taking 3 fingers of whiskey on television.
Right.
And to say, oh, this guy was a major in the National Guard in the Army. He's not a general. He didn't work his way up to the management of $500 billion of the most lethal weaponry on the planet because he hangs out on television, because he abuses women, he abuses alcohol. Not one person in the armed forces will accept his orders as lawful orders.
Yeah.
If that man gets even remotely near the job. And you're going to replace a 4-star general with rings of combat experience, personnel experience, management experience, budget experience, and diplomatic experience with a freaking soldier who can't even maintain it in the National Guard, all right, in a not even mid-level, lower-level career job because he looks good on Fox
I know.
when he's drinking?
Well,
God, this is just a nightmare that could only be superseded by Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, and the headlines this morning, Trump insiders frantic he's being neutered by GOP senators after Gates failed, and, you know, it looks like Hegseth very well may. There's growing fear Trump is getting pushed around by Republican senators.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why he's doubling down on Hegseth, right?
Mm-hmm. He's getting neutered by reality.
Thank you.
This has nothing to do with GOP senators. Okay, what he wants is he expects the Republicans to be a bunch of dancing psychopaths who just agree and laugh at everything. He thinks that this is Apprentice Atomic Bomb Edition. Okay? This is not a joke. Okay, I normally have good time on here. This is not a joke. We're talking
That was
about
so
the
funny, though.
control of atomic weapons. Right. And this isn't something we should be laughing about. This is something every one of us should be outraged about.
Yeah.
And why, you know what, Democratic Party, you know, they're going to object politely and maybe write a bad letter. People should be screaming over this to say, go find yourself some ex-senator or ex-Lockheed Martin executive who knows how to handle money and bombs and put him in the job.
Not just
some
bad.
guy.
A very strongly worded letter, Malcolm. Strongly worded.
This guy would probably nuke Kyiv if Donald Trump ordered him to do it. Okay?
I mean, I
And
have
this
to
is
hope that
where
part of
things
them,
are bad.
right? Part of this clown show that we're already seeing is that, you know, their incompetence and stupidity is going to impede them more than anything. FBI Director nominee Kash Patel has openly boasted of plans to use the government to exact revenge on Trump's political enemies. He was one. guy that was at DHS in the George W. Bush administration said Patel may have already blown up his own plans to go after Trump critics simply by talking about them in the open. He wrote it down in his book. He notes criminal defendants are afforded significant protections from prosecution if they have evidence they are victims of a vindictive prosecution. They wrote it all down. Right? He said it. Pam Bondi's on tape. Project 2025 is written down.
And FBI officers, okay, have to follow the orders of the Constitution as well. And if they have somebody who is already presupposed and verbalized criminal intent to violate the Constitution of the United States, they are under an obligation to not obey that person. They are under an obligation to determine, quite possibly independently, if he is a criminal who is planning on using the U.S. laws and law enforcement for criminal purposes, which means he could wake up one morning and find out that there were audio recordings done by FBI agents whose job it is to determine internal criminality at the Bureau. But what do we care? Because this is another one of the clown show candidates that they put up there.
Yep.
This is a guy who was out there posing as a leather bear daddy boot model.
Right. I didn't think that picture was real. Oh my God.
It's real. It was a real advertisement.
That's the gayest thing I've ever seen. Okay. Well, you agreed to 2 segments, so haha, you have to stay there. Because now I have questions that relate to They Want to Kill Americans. Your other excellent book.
Yes.
50 minutes after the... It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Malcolm Nance, author of They Want to Kill Americans. I just have to say, this is like so predictable, Malcolm. But so Friday, the judge in one of these J6 cases, last year the jury found Philip Grillo guilty on 5 charges. So the judge said the administration of justice is necessary no matter the political winds of the day. So after he sentenced him to 1 year in prison and 1 year of supervised police, the defendant yelled at the judge, "Trump's going to pardon me anyway." I mean, this is the kind of lawlessness that they cheer on now on the right.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump split the difference. If they came out and said, hey, anybody who was convicted of a physical battery crime or a weapons charge wouldn't be pardoned, and that he would pardon the bulk of them. The bulk of them were people who entered the building and committed, defecated on walls and smashed things, but they weren't the most violent ones. There over 300 of them were convicted of violent crimes out of the 1,000 or so that's been prosecuted already. So I think that, it's the sort of thing where, Trump, if he were to blanket pardon every person in January 6th, you could literally run that Donald Trump allows armed criminals and cop, killers, cop haters to get out. So we'll see what happens with that. But, of course, they've got this, this belief that he's going to do it, but he didn't do it last time. So we'll see if he comes up and does it this time.
For instance, former wife of imprisoned Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes said on Friday she's deeply concerned that Trump will pardon her one-time husband. And she said this person abused his family and had us living in fear year upon year. She said, asked if her family will be in jeopardy if he gets released. She said, very much so. I mean, it is a scary time for a lot of people. And that's why you got to model courage like Malcolm Nance.
Yes.
And we will talk to you next week, my friend.
No, talk to him on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday. I get you again?
Yeah.
Hooray!
Oh, hi. Come. Walk with me. I kind of want to talk about the least of my people. Every year around this time, I always got to try real hard to not smack upside the head all these hypocrites, snakes, and vipers who call undocumented U.S. workers illegals. I don't like getting angry, but this shit makes me want to flip a table. Illegals is a racist, dehumanizing, otherizing term. It's designed to make other people appear less than human, so you won't feel bad when you treat them inhumanely. It's a really shitty noun. Ask yourself this: when's the last time Fox News called any other kind of lawbreaker an illegal? If you do 56 in a 55 zone, aren't you an illegal too? Huh? Come on. Now, you wouldn't know it from watching Tucker, but the majority of undocumented immigrants in this country are people who overstayed their visas. However, every night on Fox, he who tucks and his brood of vipers say illegals, and they're always referring to brown people crossing a border. Here's a dirty secret. Politicians could end undocumented immigration tomorrow if they wanted by locking up the white people who do all the hiring. This is supply and demand economics, my friends. There's a gigantic help wanted sign at our southern border, and there's no wall you can ever build that'll be big enough to hide it. And politicians of both parties are in no rush to take down the help wanted sign. Rich people pay Fox people to make working people blame poor people. Now here's 10 facts about illegal people. Number 1. Undocumented immigrants commit crimes at a much lower rate than U.S.-born citizens. Why? Fear of deportation. So imagine if we could do that to homegrown criminals. Number 2. Undocumented immigrants pay state, local, and sales tax over $400 billion in 2017 alone. Those guys standing outside Home Depot looking for day labor work, they're not the ones who outsourced your job to China. By the way, racist idiots, there are no national politicians currently calling for open borders or amnesty. Anyone who tells you there are is lying, or as I like to call it, bearing false witness. You know who did call for that? Ronald Reagan, that's right, the star of all your right-wing porn fantasies. St. Ronnie gave amnesty to millions of undocumented people and claimed that open borders allows them to just go home when they're done working here. But don't feel bad, you racist douchebags. Reagan still supported apartheid. You ever notice whenever they raid one of these meatpacking plants down south and they arrest several hundred illegal workers, they're a lot slower to arrest the guys in the back room who did the hiring, who are counting all the cash. And that is all the proof you need to know that the illegal immigration scare is regressive gaslighting bullshit. Donald Trump hires undocumented labor. Going back to the 80s, it was Polish workers who built Trump Tower, but they never got called illegals because they're white. Even as president, Trump continued to employ undocumented workers. He's now done it in 2 different centuries, all to avoid paying American workers a living wage. You are being suckered by millionaire at birth hypocrites. Does it physically hurt to be this freaking gullible? Oh, let's talk about the wall. You morons understand that they were never actually going to build a physical medieval wall for thousands of miles stretching across deserts and rivers and forests and private and commercial properties and seizing land from American citizens using eminent domain law, right? You understand that was a scam? It wasn't going to get finished. Mexico was never going to pay for it. And even if they had, twits, ladders and shovels are things. They looted the military for a scam. Steve Bannon was ripping people off and Trump pardoned him for it, and they are both now wagging their tiny junk at you. And that's not a pretty sight. The majority of American voters rejected Donald Trump's immigration agenda in 2016. The majority rejected it again in 2020, but he still has a chance to be the first man to lose the popular vote 3 times. I alone can do it. What a dick. So remember, MAGA dudes, one of these days, you're going to stand before St. Peter. And on that day, you will discover what extreme vetting really fucking means. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and forgive me, I should have said at the top of the video, I'm only dressed in the tunic because it's laundry day, and I had nothing else to wear. Oh, and I'm only wearing the fake beard to hide my rosacea, so that's... Oh, you thought I was trying to look like him? Dude, I look nothing like him. I'm white.
still living on hopium. I don't care. Okay, Christina tweeted at me, some of the hottest women alive rarely even leave their house. Thank you. And Jen Kirkman said, thank you. Okay. I am going to leave my house one more time, though, for DC Sexy Liberals.
Yes.
January 18th, day of the Women's March, and then we just announced this morning it will also be available pay-per-view.
That's right.
The last one, the big finale, the
On
extravaganza.
sale now. Go to sexyliberal.com.
You know who was at Albuquerque Sexy Liberal, which is, and the sexiest of little, they are hot tamales, let me just say, in Albuquerque. Debriana Mancini and Lisa Lucas, the authors of That Time We Ate Our Feelings.
I love that title.
I know, it's so perfect.
Yeah.
Good morning, gals.
Morning. We're still eating our feelings. It just never ends.
That's right.
Well, this is described as born out of the fear and uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic. That Time We Ate Our Feelings is our love letter to comfort food, storytelling, and you. We hope you find a lot of warmth, care, and new favorite meals in these pages. Doesn't this feel like we're in another trauma? Someone said, like, 2016, I was so depressed, but this election felt like the second plane hitting the tower. I mean, people are having a hard time. COVID, they're literally comparing it to other traumas in America.
So true. We're bottoming out. I mean, it's just, we thought, but at this point, that we would not be doing this anymore.
Well, our publisher was like, now you got to calm down the COVID and you got to calm down the trauma and, you know, blah,
we're
blah,
coming
blah.
out of that.
That's not going to happen again. So you got to make it a cookbook. And we're like, oh my God, it's so relevant.
Yeah. Two of my best friends and I went to see Wicked yesterday, and we realized we haven't been out to a movie. And, like, I feel like a lot of COVID stuck. Like, we just didn't, we don't go out as much. We don't do some of the same things. It changed our behavior in a lot of ways. But that was
changed everything.
Everything changed.
Yeah,
but
we were.
You couldn't get sugar, you couldn't get flour, and toilet paper, as we know, was
And you want to know how sad? We went to an 11:45 movie, and we were all old, and we were like, I can't read. What cinema? Where's cinema one?
In the
what?
morning?
Yes.
Oh my God. We went to see Nosferatu last night, so we've been up a long time.
Oh my God.
But obviously, it's interesting timing going into the holidays because, we always say food is love. It has, we connect it to the holidays, but that's why people needed it during COVID. But so these are 150 recipes for comfort food from the heart. Sunnier days ahead, Meyer lemon squares.
Yum.
I want to be curled up on my couch with the cat stuffed meatloaf. That's weird. Salt roasted potatoes to get you through the night. It's a warming, judgment-free collection of recipes. Now, I've confessed, although if I hadn't, Chris would have told you, I am a crappy cook. Well. So I appreciate that these seem relatively idiot-proof, these recipes.
We are not chefs. We are home cooks. So we're doing whatever. We just started doing what everybody was doing.
Yeah.
Cooking at home. We both know how to cook. We come from cooking families. We had no idea when we started doing this live on Facebook. I called Lisa and I was like, you go Tuesday, I'll go Thursday, and we'll see who joins us. When we started, we cooked for 143 days in a row every single day.
Wow.
And it was helping people cope, and we had a carrot cake go viral, and next thing we knew, we had thousands of followers all around the world, and people needed us, and we needed them, and we didn't know what it was called, but we started a micro food community, and it just,
well,
from there.
I think people are using all kinds of coping mechanisms now to deal with this period. Like, we just keep saying, do you take care of yourself, whatever you, but food is self-care. I mean, I'm balls deep in Madam Secretary because A, I want to marry Tia Leone, and B, I want to live in a world where we elected a really smart lady president. So, but I just, whatever, dog videos, cat videos, whatever it is that you need to sort of disconnect.
I know. I just got a new computer, and the computer guy said to me, because I had my Harris Waltz sticker on the back, he goes, she didn't win. Do you want to take this off? I said, no.
No. Nope. And also eat me. And I'm a chef, so I meant that in a really...
Oh my God!
Yeah. So this was a Facebook sensation, Corona Kitchen, right? But these, and plus it's so pretty, and the pictures are so nice.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's to the lovely and talented Penina Meisels, who was just turns out Jacques Pepin and Julia Childs, photographer, who was part of the community and contacted us and was like, I want to help you. I will do the
Yeah.
Wow. It was a crazy collaboration of so many people that were just in the thick of it like we were.
Yeah. I I lost my mom at 100 years old. I'm not. I mean, I'm almost 100, but my mom
No,
was.
you're not. You're in your 40s.
I'm right there with you.
I think I should clarify. I'm not almost 100.
You're under the 40.
I'm not sure how the lighting is this morning, but anyway, but I mean, we all have those things. Her homemade vegetable soup was just like the best, and I'm like, to this day, none of us knows how to make it because it just was so complicated, and she improvised it, and it was. We always say everything but the kitchen sink was in there. It took her all day, but it just, it's love, right? It reminds you.
It's what comforts you. It's something you can go to. It's very much self-care. Everybody has to eat, so find the thing that envelops you and can nourish you.
And
Because this time we're going to need it.
And you can share with others. I mean, that's the whole other thing too. Like my matzo ball soup in there, it's like will cure anything that ails you, and it's the secret family recipe.
Not secret
now. You want to know
Secret
mine?
anymore.
My Thanksgiving one. People ask for it every year. Is my mom's Polish sauerkraut.
Oh no.
Oh, Lisa's a big sauerkraut girl.
I'm Croatian, so there.
Okay. Chris always points out the one time I burned it. However,
that's hard to do. Stuff.
I think my mom used to use like bacon fat, but I just use like regular oil.
And you fry the sauerkraut.
Okay, I'll explain it. Hold, please. Okay. Here's what I do, girls. So you get like a jar of sauerkraut, right? And you just put it into, boil it with a little bit of water, 20 minutes, and then drain the water out. And then meanwhile, you stir fry mushrooms, onions, right?
In bacon fat?
Yeah, well, you can use bacon or just olive oil, whatever you want to use.
But everything's better with bacon.
That's
right. Mushrooms, onions, whatever. And then you put the stir fry, what do you call it? Sauerkraut in there. You stir fry it. What's the secret ingredient? Dill. You put dill in there. It's delicious.
That's it. That sounds
you know what?
delicious.
Everybody has their way.
My friend and I were going to. I used to joke that she put booze in literally every single thing she cooked, and we were going to do the "Everything's Better with Booze" cookbook. Because I was like, "Do you put booze in everything?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, she drank it, put it in there.
Oh yeah, that's all part of it.
Yeah.
Well, right now we need even more.
Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God. So, Deb, I did not know the fun fact about you that you were in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which I should have known in that we were in the. Do we call it the Kirk or what do we call Albuquerque?
The Q.
The Q.
The Q.
We
Okay.
call it the quirky.
Yeah, the quirky.
The quirky, that works.
Yeah. I'm the quirker.
And Lise, you're also a writer, producer, actor. You've written produced and written more than 30 television series.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
I've still have a long career, hopefully, in TV and film. But
ageism, so God only knows.
It's just, we could go on and on. Our next book is probably going to be some Hollywood tales and cocktails and cookies or something like that. But Debrianna and I have been doing this for a long time, and we just never thought it was going to be this.
We met because of the industry, but the only time we would see each other was at political marches.
Yeah.
Right.
She would be the one holding the sign. I can't believe I'm still protesting this shit.
No, my favorite.
Oh, you can't say that on here, you little potty mouth minx. By the way, I bring up your careers not. I bring up your careers not about you, but to ask, can you set me up with Taya Leone? That's the main thing.
Stop it.
Stephanie Louise Miller.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Just asking.
See? What are always the positive?
What are these delicious things on the cover? Those look fantastic.
So those are vegetarian chicken, vegetarian pot pies that you can
put chicken,
do chicken or whatever. But
we don't suggest cats and dogs. That's the only thing.
Right.
Apparently, they've all been eaten ever since the election. They're all gone now.
Disappeared off the hors d'oeuvre list. I don't know why.
Oh my God. I was reading a meme earlier. Don't get me started on the mainstream media, but they said it turns out they're eating the cats and they're eating the dogs. Turned out to be a more compelling message than let me help you buy your first house. I mean, don't tell me this was about the economy. Kamala Harris had any number of really good practical plans, right?
Yeah. My goal is to get you into the Joe and Mika slot. They need you.
Thank you.
Well, we've been there before.
No, and listen, any friend of Bob Any friend of Bob Seska's is a friend of ours. That's how I heard about you initially.
Yes. In fact, we have a lot of mutual friends in the book. Bob Seska, Carl Frisch.
Wait, what page am I on?
Angela has a chili recipe in here.
Oh, wow.
House Parks has a quiche.
Yeah. Can you believe I got through this whole interview without reading the part about me? What page is it? Do you know? You don't know.
Thank you, Stephanie, at the end. Do you want me to find it?
Oh, yeah. Why? Yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah, we poached a lot of people from you. Get it? Poached?
Poached. That's a cooking term.
That's a cooking
That is
joke.
a cooking term.
I could be funny. I could be funny.
I was mostly like, who are these new super hot ladies at Albuquerque Sexy Liberal? Oh, friends of...
We said, so on page 301, we say, thanks to Stephanie Miller for pre-screening our guests, LOL.
Oh.
You thieving whores. All right. Guys, thank you so much. This looks like so much fun and perfect in time for the holidays. That Time We Ate Our Feelings by Deborah Mancini and Lisa
We have
Lucas.
book soup tonight in LA signing books if
Awesome.
anybody's around.
Go
Sweet.
out and say hello. And you had dinner with the lovely and talented Jody Hamilton.
Yes.
So fun. And her pretty husband.
Yes.
Oh, he's so pretty.
Isn't he pretty?
He's so pretty.
He's very pretty.
And doesn't she seem sweet and kind on the outside, but inside she's a simmering ball of like sex rage. You'll see what I mean.
Sex rage.
Sex rage. When did that? What?
Yeah.
Sex snarly.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Snarly sexy. Snarly sexy.
Yeah.
She is. She's snarly. Well, right back at you. All right, girls. Thank you. That
Thank
time
you,
we
guys.
ate our
Thank you,
feelings.
guys.
Happy holidays.
Stephanie.
Stop poaching guests.
Aw.
Have them with a nice Chianti.
Yeah.
18 minutes after the hour. tweeted, MAGA husband, giving wife orgasms, not babies, is gay sex. I'm not going to have gay...
Sorry.
I'm not going to have gay sex, Luke Moody said. I'm going to guess his wife is definitely Moody.
I would imagine.
Oh,
she is a Moody.
She was giving him a look in the photo that
Oh, gosh, yeah.
accompanied
I
that.
am not going to have gay sex, Luke Moody said, of sex that gives his wife an orgasm, but not a pregnancy. Wow. MAGA ladies, come on over to the light. Wow.
Yeah.
In a totally unrelated story, Nick Fuentes.
Oh, my God.
Did you see this?
Yeah,
He was
I saw
arrested in Illinois last week on a charge of battery after he allegedly pushed a woman down the stairs of his home and pepper sprayed her last month. So good God. What? You know what? JoJo from Jurors said you shouldn't dox people, give their home
course
address
not.
because
Never.
now they've, so she defended him and now they've done it to her and she's getting death threats and whatever. Just stop it, everybody. This is why we're not for. I mean, I get dark humor, but it's not funny that the, United Healthcare guy got
not at all.
executed on the street.
Don't be a jerk. It's Christmas.
Exactly.
It's Christmas. I like the original version. They did do a Don't Be a D. It's Christmas.
This was a SpongeBob SquarePants song that we're talking about.
I just don't want to be them. We were talking to Malcolm about January 6th and, all this, violence that they excuse regularly on the right. And I don't want to be for that. We were talking about the wife of the Oath Keepers guy. Is that the one good eye guy? Stuart Rhodes?
The guy with one good eye. Well, because he shot it out.
Right. He
himself.
shot his own eye out, which is why we think it's okay to say he has
one good eye.
Well, she's going to be keeping an eye out for him. But she's terrified. She said her husband's dangerous, why she fears if Trump pardons him and he gets released. She said she went on to say she put a lot of faith in the American justice system to keep her safe from Rhodes. She would agree to testify against him at the bail hearing. I mean, this is the whole thing about the rule of law that is just, about to go, what's the word? Kablooey.
Kablooey?
Something. Like, this was just in my J6 stack. The former head of D.C. Police's intelligence branch was a sympathizer of the far-right Proud Boys who leaked sensitive law enforcement information about an investigation into their national chairman, federal prosecutors just said recently. I mean, I really do fear for the rule of law. I mean, it just in general, because I just think we have never seen anything like this in our history that we're gonna see starting in January. Okay. Leader Jeffries on
Doge,
which is not a department; it's a project, like
thing.
Arts and crafts.
It's unclear to me what exactly the objective is related to this so-called Doge initiative. From our perspective, we want a federal government that is effective and efficient and equitable. And to the extent the other side of the aisle shares that objective, which is what is right for the American people, then we'll see if there's common ground that's possible. Democrats will, of course, have to be directly involved to the extent that there is any legislative aspect of this, and we will, by necessity, be engaged because it's clear that the incoming House Republican majority will not be able to do much without us.
Can I just say, don't we have another minute?
Yeah.
Thanks. Ro Khanna said he's open to bipartisan cooperation with Elon Musk and Doge. No, I say no.
Computer says no.
He said how's he going to get rid of waste? He's going to pull Social Security up by the roots
and fire a bunch of people.
Thank you. Senator Warren has bashed his new cost-cutting department by claiming he will go after Medicare and Social Security because he said he's going to. So don't cooperate. I'm with Maxwell Frost. Here he is.
We're going to find room where we can work together, of course, over the next 2 years with our Republican colleagues. But let's be honest about Doge and this whole thing. It's a joke. We're talking about two billionaires who are cosplaying as government officials, not an actual department of this government. It's an X account right now. And here's my thing. I'm all for making our government more efficient. But we got to look at the proposition here.
Yeah, exactly. If that doesn't make people furious, that Social Security that you've paid into your entire life, they're trying to tell you that you might not get that, that's not your money. It is our money. Okay, Harry Litman, hero of democracy, next.
what it is. If you look at the fact that we have billionaires who have created companies now helping to clean up a bad economy, clean up a government where we don't have efficient spending, and run the country like they run their businesses, much like Donald Trump. That's why he's a billionaire.
It's been bankrupt how many times? 6. Oh, my God. Okay. Hey, Chris. Who said, I have written my last op-ed for the Times. Yesterday, I resigned my position. I don't want to continue to work for a paper that is appeasing Trump and facilitating his assault on democratic rule for craven reasons. Who said that?
Fred Flintstone.
No, that was a horribly bad guess. It was Harry Littman, Los Angeles Times. My resignation is a protest and a visceral reaction against the conduct of the paper's owner. He has made several moves to force the paper over the forceful suggestions of his staff into a posture more sympathetic to Donald Trump. Those moves can't be defended as the sort of policy adjustment papers undergo from time to time, and that an owner within limits is entitled to influence, given the existential stakes for our democracy that I believe Trump's second term poses, and the evidence that Soon Xiong is currying favor with the president-elect. They are repugnant and dangerous. Who said that?
Mr. Slate.
No! Harry Littman, our legal lab.
Professor Harry Littman. If only we knew somebody that knew something about the judiciary.
Did someone say judiciary?
Harry Littman, former U.S. Attorney, Deputy Assistant Attorney General. Talking Fed, fantastic podcast.
Hello again, everybody. Harry
Get me my legal lad. Harry Littman, one of our legal labs.
Judiciary.
Contributing columnist for the Washington Post. Harry. Professor of constitutional law at both UCLA. Regular commentator at MSNBC, CNN, Fox. We love you, Harry Littman. With your big giant brain.
Please welcome Harry.
Wow, this jingle was
I just relayed
psychic.
My childhood from Jeopardy to the Flintstones to Batman. All right.
This jingle was psychic because you are Batman. Here you are to save the day.
Yeah.
I emailed you. I just
I
said
can't be the boy wonder anymore, I guess. Yeah.
I bet you still look good in tights. No, but I told you by email, I'm so proud of you. And it is so, I agree with everything you wrote in your op-ed. And we just talked off air about, there are people like Mark Elias, like David Frum, like Olivia Troy, like you, that are modeling courage. And as I say every day, courage is contagious, and so is cowardice. And so good for you because, this cost you something. You've been an amazing columnist for the LA Times for, 15 years, right?
I mean, off and on, I've been their senior legal columnist for the last 3. But, I get, yes, it cost me something, but it wasn't, I think, so hard, really. I mean, we had a sort of, you probably already talked about the 45-minute little Lollapalooza that Trump had last night, and he talked about pardoning January 6th defendants and going after his enemies and lies about tariffs. And really, when you push on it, lies underlie everything. And we're really at a critical moment, it seems to me, where he's now going after the FBI and the military, and there aren't that many guardrails you can really point to. And man, oh man, the press has to be one of them. And when you're the LA, my former paper, is just more and more wanting to be the very words fair and balanced. Yeah. And there's no balance here. There's a side that's talking truth and democratic values, et cetera, and there's a side that's lying about it. Media can't make it their role to sort of say on the one hand, on the other hand. There is no other hand here. I really do think we're in a bad spot where we can't even agree on facts. And just one more quick thing, which is nobody suggests that it was, a reconsideration of his immigration policies or anything. Both the Post, Washington Post, and the Times just flinched at the last minute. He made 2 of the biggest papers in the country stand down before he's even taken office, man. That's terrifying.
Yeah. By the way, we have something in common. I also quit my LA Times column, but it's only because I was too lazy to write one anymore. So this isn't really a principled stand.
How did I not know that you had an
I had a humor column in the 90s.
Did you really?
Yeah, I quit. I'm lazy. I don't think laziness is the same thing as courage. Okay. You said the role and responsibility of the media have never been greater. Thank you. And if major outlets can be bought off and made to cower, the impact on our liberty and freedom of thought is in grave jeopardy. And you talked about this. The owner of the LA Times went on Fox News after the election to saying he wanted to make Times more fair and balanced. If that isn't a pander to Fox News, as you pointed out.
Right.
And as you said, he spiked, an endorsement of Kamala Harris that was already written. You said, first, the idea of balance is fundamentally misplaced. On one side of the balance is a sociopathic liar like Donald Trump. The media has struggled for years to figure out how to call out Trump's incessant lies. He did it again yesterday with Kristen Welker, lied and lied and lied. It's just... The people who voted for Trump were fed a relentless false amount of issue after issue, including Trump's signature distortions about immigrants eating pets, committing a disproportionate number of violent crimes, which Fox News and right-wing social media parroted relentlessly. I'm not the only one, Harry, that is saying that was the major element, is disinformation in this campaign. Right?
It's so true, right? I mean, that's part. Historians will be puzzling it out. But if you were in the right-wing media ecosystem, really, you were fed lie after lie after lie, and that does seem to have been the sort of engine of his victory. Okay, so we're in a really rough spot now, but for starters, the free press, if it doesn't play its indispensable role, compare I think we're way past where we were in Watergate, as David Frum has put it. But man, look what the press did then, how it stood up, and other kinds of crises. You haven't when you look at all the guardrails he's somehow mowing down in real time. He hasn't even taken office yet, and for media to be saying, we want the paper's owner is now instituting an AI system, supposedly, that will just measure balance, which I think means you can tabulate people's views, but the truth is the truth, and everybody knows the truth. The LA Times knows the truth. Fox knows the truth. MSNBC, CNN. And man, how you can depart from that again with nobody is saying that, it turns out he's saying the truth, right?
And by the way, I love how you put it. You said there is no on the other hand. Trump is an inveterate liar, and journalists have a defining responsibility to call that out. These are not normal times. Look around. We're in a political, cultural, and legal fight of our lifetimes. And you just said no time. It's no time for neutrality and disinterest. It's rather a time for choosing, and a choice for true facts and American values is a necessarily vigorous choice against Donald Trump. And by the way, you wrote all this on your Substack, which that's the other thing, as you were saying, nobody's reading newspapers anymore anyway. So keep doing your vital work. Please follow and, Harry, and read his Substack. You have a fantastic podcast, Talking Feds. Yep. I think that's what we're finding in this information ecosystem, Harry, is we've got to get the information out there in other ways, and you don't have to be dependent on the LA Times or Washington Post or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really am staking it for the future now. I want it like everyone else, like you. What the hell do we do now? And I'm trying to get news and ideas to people in the way that it seems they receive it if they're under 70. We got a YouTube channel now and a Substack, and that's right. That's where I put it out. I was kind of stunned and really gratified. Man, oh man, it was just a Substack entry, but it got around for sure. Yeah, much more than a cable show would have.
Wow. Well, because that's what people want right now is courage. They want to, you're one of the leaders people are going to follow here, thought leaders and legal leaders and others. I mean, just let me finish your little. Just so many of your things jumped out at me. You just said the conscious pattern of détente with Trump has in fact recast the paper's core identity to one of appeasement with an authoritarian madman, and I am loath to affiliate with that identity in any way. And you closed with your quoting your former editor saying, "I want to make clear I'm not okay with us being silent. In dangerous times, honest people need to stand up. This is how I'm standing up." I don't know if because I know you're on MSNBC. I don't know if you want to check in on the Joe and Mika.
That's too
David
early
Frum
for me
thing.
on the West Coast. Right. Yeah.
But I mean, that's why people are reacting to that kind of cowardice. And David Frum was dead on in everything he wrote. We're all afraid in certain ways. Like I was saying, my friend.
I have friends who are really afraid of there'll be all of a sudden tax audits and the like. But the main thing is we were really reeling after the election, because how could, obviously 50% of America didn't care that much about it. Yeah. But if you look at the landscape, man, it's a serious thing. So I feel like, we're canaries in the coal mine, or whatever you call it. But it's really foreboding. The guy hasn't even taken office yet, and yesterday he wants to pardon the people we saw, the most violent perpetrators on officers and officials, but also the Capitol in real time. He wants to convert them to, patriots and real,
and everything he said echoes what Kash Patel has said, what Pam Bondi has said. Is yes, they are going to prosecute everybody, all his political enemies. You said recently, papers have such an important role to play now. Trump has captured the political, maybe the Supreme Court, and he's now going after the FBI, potentially the military, and really they're one of the few institutions to be able to stand up and push back, and it's in their finest tradition. Trump has made clear he'll go after them. That's an absolute 5-alarm fire. Thank you.
That was my main reason for doing it. The other things were like I felt personally, but that's what the hell's going on. And man, it sucks.
Yeah, you said it's not the time for balance when you have someone who is not telling the truth on the other side. You said it's a deep responsibility. Instead, they cowered. They're worried about their personal holdings and just being threatened by Trump. And that's really a shameful capitulation. And you just said you couldn't be a part of it. And good for you. I mean, I have to get your take on, my friend Adam Schiff. I was just texting with him actually last week. And, I understand him not wanting to take a pardon because he did nothing wrong. Like Liz Cheney and everybody else. But, Harry, I almost feel like not everybody has $350,000 to get defense lawyers. And, so I don't know what your take is on whether some people, if they take pardons, shouldn't be judged for it because, based on every available evidence, Donald Trump is going to go after people.
It sure looks like it, right? And this is super complicated. It's Biden's last chance to do anything. It will set up a kind of soundbite argument of parity. But you're right. I always start with truth versus lies in the Trump world. And you've got a group of people who've done nothing wrong. And then you have a group of people that he's going to pardon who have done, really serious crimes against the rule of law. But that's, how do you defend, especially once he's in office, really basically the truth? It's a tough one for Biden, I think. And the short answer is I can understand why people like Schiff would say no, thank you. But that's you don't have to say yes, please. You can just be quiet, and then if the knock on the door comes from the Patel FBI, then you can proffer that little piece of paper that Biden had on leaving office. But come January, he says at January 20th, he's going to right away pardon the generous defense for that. He's not joking around, and it really looks like he's going to come out with a head of steam, doing everything he says. It's a grave moment.
Harry, I can't imagine someone like you that's dedicated your life to the law, a court of law where facts matter, truth matters, evidence matters. This latest, reporting this weekend about Trump's transition team giving this loyalty test to people applying. And they're asked what they thought about the events of January 6th and whether they believe the 2020 election was stolen. The sense they got was there was only one right answer to each question. They note among those being interviewed were applicants who said they gave what they intuited to be the wrong answer, either decrying the violence at the Capitol on January 6th or saying President Biden won in 2020. The answers were met with silence and the taking of notes. They did not get the jobs.
That's not unsubtle, is it? I mean, Kristen Welker asked him, are you now ready to say you lost the 2020 election? His answer, no, why should I? There really is this strange plank of his agenda of somehow rewriting history or covering up what we don't know already. Again, at bottom, it's about truth versus lies. That's really where we are.
He's trying to rewrite history. I mean, that's what this J6 thing is about. He's going to make sure they say, oh no, Donald Trump won in 2020. And that's,
on it, that really seems to be like what he's going for.
Yeah. Yeah, Harry, good for you. The Batman jingle is perfect for you.
You're a hero. You really are a hero.
We're just going to put the giant H up against the sky when we need you. And you.
All right.
Harry, thanks so much. You are a hero of democracy.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
All right, there he goes.
Thanks,
our legal lad.
Bye.
48 minutes. I just said the most old lady thing ever. My equally old friends, Trish and Karen and I went to see Wicked yesterday, and we were those ladies up too close going, "It's too loud! Why is it so loud?" Even for me, if it's
Too
loud
loud
for
for
me,
you, that's loud.
Wow, I mean.
That's loud if it's too loud.
You've been wearing headphones for a living for the last 40 years.
Hey, Chris, I was next
loud.
to guitar amps forever.
Okay, all right.
So
I'm officially, I used to go to a matinee when I lived in New York for a little while. I used to go to the matinees, on Broadway, and I'm that old lady now that talks way too loud in the middle, right, the quiet parts. Oh, kinky boots. Why do they call them kinky boots? What makes the boots kinky? Do you have any more candies?
What did they just say?
All right, we have a little bit of breaking news.
Uh-huh.
Police in Pennsylvania take man into custody for having a similar weapon that was used in the insurance CEO assassination. Yeah. So no more details on, whether that...
Same sparkling smile?
Okay, I said to Don Lemon, my new best friend who I was texting with, that smiley one is a kind of resting gay face. And he said, Don said, wasn't he flirting with a woman? And he said, well, maybe he was complimenting her shoes.
Yeah, that's funny.
Don
funny. Lemon is funny.
He is funny. I'm going to do his show. Oh,
will you let us know when you're booked?
I sure will.
Okay.
Lara Trump has resigned as RNC chair. Another role she's not qualified for, the Senate seat. She said it's something I would seriously consider. Oh, would you? God, lucky us. Fantastic.
Nice.
Lucky Florida.
Nepo baby. What? Does Meghan McCain think she's a Nepo baby? Oh, a lot of people are asking, ¿Dónde está J.D. Vance?
See? Yeah, where has he been?
See?
He's missing in action, according to John Bolton, who I really could shut up now. We needed you to talk under oath, but okay. He was asked about the presence of Elon Musk at many of Trump's events with foreign world leaders. Oh my God, can he get his doughy, stupid body in more photo ops?
He's so gross.
And now he's like toting kids around for photo ops. Bolton said, well, it's like Musk has become vice president. Great. What did he spend? $250 million. If you want to know. So spare me with your stupid election analysis. It's because the richest man in the world spent $250 million to spread disinformation. All right. Any story where Marjorie Taylor Greene gets booed, I'm happy about.
All right. Good.
Did you see her it was Friday? She was on the steps of the Supreme Court. As they were hearing oral arguments to challenge Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care, the crowd booed her loudly. She said, "What you're hearing is an outcry from the demons and those that worship evil that are abusing our children."
Oh my God!
Blah,
Shut
blah,
up!
blah, blah. Brainwashing our children to believe the lies that come directly from Satan. Oh, she's a little church lady.
Well,
Church
did you
lady
see?
was on Saturday.
Church lady made an appearance on Saturday Night Live this past weekend.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yes.
I did not
Matt
see that.
Gaetz was on, and so was Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, people playing.
I'm just saying, I don't mean to be rude, but she's like the main basher of trans kids, and she looks like Barney Rubble in a dress. I'm just saying. Am I the only one that noticed it?
Barney Rubble does wear a dress.
He does.
That's what I mean. She looks like Barney Rubble. Donald Trump has assembled a cabinet advisory team valued at a staggering $10 billion, and that excludes Elon Musk. It includes 11 billionaires. So there you go, price of eggs, voters. So they're looking out for you. Yes, Jody
Daniel
Hamilton.
Penny has been found not guilty.
Who?
In his crime. Daniel Penny, the guy that held that kid on the subway, he's been found not guilty.
Well, on that note, thanks
Sorry.
for that wet blanket.
Well, it's breaking news.
All right. Best of luck to all of us. We only have one more week till vacation. Whee!
No, two more.
Two more.
This week and next week.
Yeah,
Well,
two.
that's 2 weeks.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow on the Stephanie Miller Show.